So hey, this Brittany Griner thing has got you partisans swapping sides yet again. I'm not even sure if that's an accurate way to say it. All you small government Republicans and conservatives, whatever the hell you want to call yourselves, uh, if you're not pissed off that Brittany Griner was uh, arrested for um, the non-crime of having drugs that government says you shouldn't have, then you're not for small government. Period. You can say whatever about, well, she should have been smarter or whatever. Okay, whatever. It's still wrong. And if you're a Democrat, why are you complaining? You want a big government that tells people what to do. And if you're a Democrat and you voted in this last election, you voted for the Democrat candidates, you voted for the one of the major architects of our present mass incarceration state and our humongous drug war, and for a cop that yeah, she I don't think she had a badge, but she's a cop. Uh who helped enforce all that and put people in prison for the non-crime of having drugs the government says you can't have. That's not a crime. Period. And I don't give a shit. I don't accept your definition of crime. No, I'm not going to use the word in that way. Um, unless I put little quotes around it to make fun of you for saying that, well, whatever the government says is a crime is a crime. No, 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 fuck that. Yeah, that is um that line of thought it's destructive to your humanity. Um anyway, but y'all are switching sides yet again. If you're a Democrat, you should love the drug war. You voted for one of the guys who made it, and you voted for somebody who enforced it. Okay, and neither one of them has said, wow, the drug war is completely evil. I'm completely wrong. They've got all these little qualifications. They're trying to, they can't just give up control. They're gonna say, oh, well, we'll legalize marijuana. And you idiots are, and yeah, you're dumb. If that satisfies you, you're dumb. I don't have another word for you. And that's mean, and I'm frustrated. I'm just so sick of y'all losing focus on the objective. The objective is peace and freedom. And these little bullshit half measures they give you just to shut you up, just to make you think, oh yeah, well, he's not committed to the drug war. Okay, look, if you're willing to throw someone in a cage because they're using heroin, because they have heroin on them, then no, you're not for peace or liberty. You're for violence and control, and political violence. By the way, I will do a video on that because a lot of y'all seem to think that political violence is only the what us commoners do when there's the riot is political violence. No, you know what? Political violence is kicking in a door and murdering Breonna Taylor. That's political violence, and the government commits most of it. That really, I guess, could be the entire video, but I don't know. People, it needs to just be repeated and repeated and repeated. I mean, there's that thing about repeat the lie often enough until it becomes the truth. Well, hell, you've got to repeat the truth too, because you got to overcome the lie. And the lie is that political violence, it has massively increased. No, political violence is huge. It is not a massive increase. It is a slight increase because political violence is already massive. Okay, it's like if you had a $10,000 in debt, the political violence that you've seen from all the commoners lately, that's a $1 increase in that $10,000 debt. That's the share, okay? And somebody else can look into the math on that, but I'm going to include in political violence, I'm going to include the entire drug war, I'm going to include all gun control, I'm going to include all these invasions that were completely needless, based on lies, and generally attacked people who weren't the real threat. Remember, our government specifically avoided attacking Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. They attacked the Taliban. They also paid the Taliban for passage to their so they could get to their bases safely. They paid the Taliban, and then the Taliban bought weapons with that money and then killed the soldiers and Marines that you say you love so much. Well, if you really love and respect and venerate the military, don't put a fucking politician's sign on your front fucking lawn. They're the ones that are getting them killed. God damn it. No, if you're standing for Donald Trump, you do not respect or love the military. And even if you're in the military, and you sure as shit don't if you support Hillary Clinton, who is an even worse hawk than Donald Trump. No, you gotta pick one. You love the military or you support politicians. Pick. It's one or the other. You can't have it both ways. I'm a meat-eating vegetarian. I mean, that's the equivalent. And yeah, I am mad. I know a lot of guys in the military. And, I know a few who are dead who have committed suicide who are in the military. And that alone should have been enough for me years ago to abandon supporting these fucking politicians. And it wasn't. Oh well. Rambling again. Anyway, the Brittany Griner thing. If you are against gun control, but you're fine with what happened to Brittany Griner, you're not against gun control. Okay, these are not discrete issues. These are all one issue, and the issue is liberty. And if you give them the power to violate liberty on this one side, because you don't like, most of y'all just don't like drug addicts or drug users. That's really the truth of it. You don't like them. They're icky. They're stupid. They're whatever. So you're cool with them being hurt. That's really how it works in your head if you really are honest with yourself. Most of you. My opinion. But I've seen how y'all talk. Because y'all think that I guess I'm talking to conservatives right now. Y'all think because the way I talk and how, it's I believe in gun rights. Y'all think I'm going to be on your side and, oh yeah, we need to stop these immigrants too. We need to stop these drug users. No, that's stupid. You're dumb for believing that. You're naive. The insult thing probably isn't the best way for me to do that, is it? This is getting too long. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, that's it, isn't it? It really is that simple. Y'all are switching sides once again. I'm seeing all the people who want this big government that plans for health and has all this power and decides what we can and can't buy and taxes the living shit out of us. Y'all all feel bad for Brittany Griner. But y'all voted for people who have done, and this is the thing, y'all don't know about all the people that they've hurt. Y'all don't know about all the people, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. You don't know about those people. They're a schmoo to you. They're not famous. And that's really what it is with Brittany Griner. There are so many people in much worse scenarios than her. Y'all don't know about them. They're not famous. See, I don't give a shit. It's just like with Ukraine. The U.S. in 2015 started helping the Saudis murder Yemenis. Yeah, I don't give a shit about that. It's not on the news all the time. But Ukraine, that's a big deal. Well, hey, were y'all upset when Ukraine was shelling Donbass after the Donbass region voted to leave Ukraine? No, you weren't. I know, because I didn't see it put a bunch of fucking flags up representing Donbass. Y'all didn't give a shit. And if you were told, well, then you were going to be satisfied by someone telling you, well, Putin faked the vote. Okay, you know what? Let's say the vote in Donbass was faked. Let's say your state has a fake vote to leave the United States. They vote to secede. And then your house gets blown up because D.C. decides to shell you. Yeah, they blow you up. They kill your kids because your state seceded. Are you going to, thank God, sure glad they shelled my fucking house. Well, that's what they did to those people in Donbass. Are you better off? I mean, it's like, is it because I'm a stupid nerd that sits here and thinks about and games out all this shit that I actually think about it from the perspective of the people who are getting blown up, like the people in Iraq? Man, we had to go over and stop Saddam Hussein. You think the motherfucker that lost his kids in a strike from the U.S. feels better off? Oh man, thank God we got rid of Saddam. My kids have been blown apart, but hey, yeah, no more Saddam. I'm so happy. You fucking insane? None of these wars are ever any good for the people that they're supposed to be liberating. Yeah, the sons of bitches that survive, maybe they rebuild their lives and they do good. Some of the people at the top that now they don't have to contend with the son of a bitch before. Now they got a better son of a bitch that's been installed by the United States. Yeah, they're happy. You think the poor motherfucker on the street that gets all of his shit destroyed, his family killed, or he gets maimed, do you think he's fucking happy? You think the people in Donbass were happy about being shelled? Because those shells weren't aimed at politicians. Those shells weren't aimed at Putin puppets. Those shells were just aimed into fucking neighborhoods. Look up the Alley of the Angels. And I know, I'm imagining your response, and maybe you wouldn't respond like that, but I've had responses like that. Oh, the vote, that wasn't a real vote. You believe that? No, I don't know if it was a real vote or not, but I know that being blown the fuck up is worse than living in a place that seceded. The math in that is so simple that even I can do it. And I got a D in college algebra. I had to go to summer school for fucking math. But I can add that sum together. And I see you sons of bitches that claim to be brilliant and claim to be so fucking smart. And y'all can't do the math on that. I know I say a lot. It boggles my mind how simple it is to distract you. Oh, no, Putin said that's good. Oh, no, suddenly it's bad. Fuel oil getting to Europe is bad because Putin somehow benefits. Well, let me tell you, I really don't give a shit if Putin gets some money in his pocket as long as I can afford to drive to work. Honestly, I'll tell you. Sorry, guys. Really don't give a shit. Because me losing money, me having no savings, it hurts me. It's not really going to hurt Putin. Putin's not hurting right now. He's still rich. He's still rich, y'all. Same is true of everybody over here that you think we're going to really get Donald Trump with this. He's still rich, y'all. He's going to be rich at the end of the day. And if somehow they all say, hey, buddy, we really actually have to send you to prison for a while, because that's what behind the scenes, when him and Hillary Clinton are talking, she's, yeah, I wish I'd have won still, but, we're still actually buddies. Hey, you might actually have to go to prison because, we need to keep, the status quo. They're friends behind the scenes, y'all. They're not actually enemies. How the fuck are you falling for this? Are you children? Really? Hey, you know what? Spoiler. That gravedigger guy with the Undertaker, yeah, he didn't really die. But you know what? That's the thing. Wrestling fans know wrestling is fake. You people are wearing your I voted stickers. Y'all don't know it's fucking fake. Their fights are fake. The rivalry is real. And, you may, every once in a while, it may spill over to a proper fight in the parking lot. But all the bullshit back and forth, Ted Cruz, all they're trying to do is maintain their power. And it's all showmanship. And y'all fall for it. How? How do you fall? I need to take a drink. Unscripted. That's why nobody watches you. God, I strayed so far afield. That'd be a good name for a show. Far afield. So anyway, guys, you know what? I'll go into this because this is really what I keep saying. Don't lose sight of the prize. Okay? This happens with the Branch Davidian shit. They're like, oh, well, the Branch Davidians are weird. Yeah, they were probably pretty fucking weird. There may have been child abuse in there. Setting children on fire did not help the children. Firing into the building like a bunch of fucking maniacs because you couldn't control yourselves and go talk to the guy about the thing you knew he didn't really have, which was a bunch of machine guns, illegal machine guns. They didn't have any. That's what turned out. Nope. Didn't have them. And really, it wasn't that they had illegal machine guns. It was that they hadn't paid the tax that you have to pay to own illegal machine guns. They did a military-style raid on a house. Okay, they call it compound. It's a house. It's a big house. It's a house. They did a military raid on a house they knew had a bunch of children in it. Fired into the building indiscriminately, flew helicopters, fired from the helicopters. They shot from the helicopters. That's not a stable shooting platform, y'all. That's just, hey, we're going to show these bastards what happens when they don't open up and surrender and throw themselves on the ground and let us do whatever we want to them. That was revenge. We watched, God, I don't remember how many weeks, sorry, y'all, of revenge. Okay, they never tried to make peace with them. They tormented them. They played the music. It was all about getting them to surrender. And when you're trying to get somebody to surrender, you're not trying to make peace. You're trying to subjugate them. Okay, it's not like, whoa, shit, this got out of hand, y'all. We're going to, look, we can't just let y'all run rampant. We do have a job. They couldn't just, hey, we're going to back off. We do need to talk to you. And you know what? I would not be surprised if they just said, go fuck yourselves. I don't know if they cussed, the Branch Davidians. Oddly enough, yeah, we're going to shoot at the cops, but we're not going to cuss. Well, they were home invaders, so, the costume probably didn't matter much to them. In fact, the way that the government did it played into their whole end times story. Well, if you're an expert, supposedly that's what the FBI is, and the ATF and all these other brilliant people who they go to school and they study criminology and they get all these fucking degrees that are supposed to prove that you're a brilliant person. What's the dumbest fucking thing you can do to a doomsday cult that thinks that there's going to be some kind of remnant that they're going to have to fight against all these evil people out there? What's like the best way to set them off? Probably a military style raid with a bunch of fucking cops and everything. Yeah, that's probably the way to do it. So what did they do? They did that thing. They did the thing to set somebody off. Tell me that sounds like people who are trying to keep the peace, who are trying to protect human life. You can't with a straight face, unless you're a liar. Okay, well, I know you're full of shit if you tell me, oh, that's the right way to. No, asshole. Number one, they're not attacking anyone. They're not threatening anyone. They just have something you don't want them to have. So wait until the guy comes in. Try to find out more about it peacefully. If they go off then, well, fuck, I guess you got to do what you got to do. Of course, you could just mind your own goddamn business. There is that option. Mind your own business. But government don't like to do that. They want to stir shit with people. Well, I'll tell you, you want a big budget? You know what's really big budget? Having a presence right near someone that you think might start shit. Y'all could have a massive budget doing that. Oh yeah, this group of cultists, man, they're crazy. Oh, we need to, y'all want to be safe. We got to keep some guys nearby. Y'all can just chill out, hang out the whole time, make friends with them, talk to them, find out more. Big presence, tons of overtime. But that isn't what the government wanted. The government did not want to keep people safe. They wanted to play soldier. They wanted to hurt people. That's what was desired. What happened in Waco is exactly what they wanted. I know because I know a lot of people who get into shit like that. They want to fight. They want to fight bad guys. But that's the thing. If you want to fight bad guys, sometimes you make bad guys. Whether you convince yourself that they're bad guys or that they're gonna be, you find the bad guy in your own mind. And then you do something to make them act like that. And that is exactly what the government did. They went about that the wrong fucking way. Even if I agreed, yeah, those guys shouldn't have machine guns. And I don't care because I don't think that being in the government makes you a special human being. It doesn't mean that you should have more rights to own more shit. And I don't think people should have to grovel to somebody else to buy something. That's just not me. Is it wise? Yeah, probably. Is it really worth it risking all your shit to have this special kind of gun? Yeah, probably not. That's me. Okay? I'm not going to do it. For one thing, they're really expensive. Ammunition is expensive even when it's cheap. So the idea of firing off 500 something fucking rounds at a, you'd have to have a belt or whatever, but very, very quick. Nah, I don't have the money for that shit. I got fucking D&D books I need to buy, you know? I got regular books I gotta buy. I cringe at the idea of spending $14 on a philosophy book, you know, because they're all expensive. I mean, because you got to make ends meet when you're working at Starbucks, because that's what you're. That's a long way. Never mind. But yeah, even if I agreed all that, do I think the way to handle this shit is to be belligerent? Well, I'm kind of belligerent in the way I talk, so maybe I shouldn't point fingers. Maybe if I were the head motherfucker what be in charge, maybe I would be like them. I'm not. I like to think I wouldn't be. It doesn't comport with my current philosophy. Maybe my current philosophy is because I don't have power. Maybe that's it. Regardless, sitting on this side of it, they did it wrong. And it doesn't really look like they had any need at all to do it the way they did it. They could have waited for him to come into town. They could have caught him in a... That's what you do with a really powerful enemy. If you really wanna fuck things up, go lay siege to the guy in his own fucking place where he's got all this. What part of that is intelligent? But see, here's the thing: they didn't want peace. They wanted to be able to punish him. They wanted to be able to control. They wanted to get the stuff so that they could throw him in prison. This is the other thing. It wasn't about, hey, he shouldn't have those guns. We need to find a way to get those guns away from him peacefully. It was, he shouldn't have those guns. We need to make sure he still has those guns so that we can punish him for having those guns. There's that element. We have to do the punishment. There must be, that's how we control people. It didn't work out, did it? Sure as shit didn't work out for any of those kids. And yeah, if you were in on that in any way, on the side of the gunman, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're a fucking murderer. You weren't there for human life. That's nuts. But to circle back to it, the Brittany Griner thing is quite similar. You know? Yeah, well, she shouldn't have. And a lot of y'all, man, I think a lot of y'all are mad just because, it's WNBA and y'all have that whole, there's all this big fight about, gender roles and all that. I think some of that colors that, like Hillary Clinton, who was a horrible, horrible human being, a war criminal, psychopath. I think a lot of y'all are just mad at her because she's a woman. She doesn't act like a woman should act. And I wonder how much of what she's done, how overboard she's gone, is because she's a woman trying to be in what it is, in reality, to me, looks pretty much like a man's world. It's mostly men that control it. Not very impressive men, I mean, George Bush. Shit. But I wonder about that. I mean, that's a discrete, that's part of it. But it's not the whole excuse. It doesn't excuse anything she does, and I'm not on Team Hillary. I'm not, yes, Queen. No, it's what you're doing is wrong. Even if you're the only representative of whatever fucking group you want to be in, doing it. Colin Powell wasn't a hero because he was the only black guy who was, and I don't even know if he was. I don't keep track of these statistics. But oh look, this general now, he's the first black general to bomb a Afghani wedding. Yay! No, that's horrible. It's bad. These are bad things, y'all. War is bad. So it doesn't fucking matter if you go, oh look, she's the first fighter pilot to kill some children in a playground in Iraq. Oh wow, yay! Let's all cheer that. Are you fucking insane? They kill people. And okay, full disclosure, my daughter and I are out on the road, and we're near Ellington Field, and we see the Blue Angels, and we're both pretty anti-war, but holy shit, the Blue Angels are cool. That's fucking cool. But the Blue Angels are a propaganda machine for the war state. So are all those things at the beginning, singing the anthem, all that stuff at the beginning of the sports events. It's all propaganda to get you to support the war state. And is it moving? Well, sure. The secret handshakes can be moving. Chants before your team goes out on the field, even if it's a pickup game, all that shit's moving. Belonging to something can be moving. So, I guess I talked myself into an answer on why y'all are willing to surrender your reason and surrender consistency in order to stay in your little political parties. And why it's probably bad for me to say little political parties. That's insulting. Am I really gonna win you over by insulting your tribe? Maybe not, but it's fun. It is fun to take those shots. It's easy to lose sight when you're taking them. That, the people that you're taking those shots at, they're people. There's a reason they're doing what they're doing. And I think I've got that one reason. It's the belonging. And there's the other, you think you're doing good. And in the end, most of us, I think most of us are pragmatists. I think in day-to-day life, we're all pragmatists. I am too. And it doesn't seem like there's much of a way out. I'm not sure there is. But what I do know is if you don't have an idea of if we don't know where we really are, and we don't, people do not know where we really are. People talk about eliminating gun violence through gun control. Waco, y'all, Philando Castile, gun control uses gun violence. I've seen that a few places. It's pretty heartening to see somebody say that. It's affirming. That's the nature of all these laws. They all use violence, and they all separate people out. You have to see where you are. You have to be honest. And that's why people who want to control you will use euphemism. That's why they give you those comfortable things. Cavity searches. It's a gross term, but what is a cavity search? Cavity search is sexual assault. Okay, that's how it would be termed if you did it to someone. It's digital rape. That's the term. And you know what? Use that term. Civil asset forfeiture. It's warrantless property confiscation. Okay? That's what it is. Civil asset forfeiture. Sounds like you're forfeit. I'm not. Forfeit is what you do when not everybody shows up to your fucking Little League game. Now we got to forfeit. You didn't forfeit anything. Look up civil asset forfeiture on YouTube. Watch a video of it. The cops take it. Nobody ever says, "Oh yeah, take all that money." I get it. I don't have any proof that I'm not a drug dealer on me right now. And drug dealers carry a lot of money, so I shouldn't have been carrying all that money. So yeah, I forfeit that. That's a fucking euphemism. The draft is a euphemism. That is war enslavement. Okay? If you can't say what it is, then maybe what it is a bad thing. When you're trying to disguise you speak in euphemisms in front of your children. If your parents speak in some euphemisms sometimes, y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, why? Because you want to conceal the meaning. That's what a euphemism is, and that's what these things are. They're euphemisms. They disguise the brutality of whatever operation it is that they're undertaking, right? If you can't deal with the brutality of something, like you got no problem. I punched a bully in the face. No problem. You're not going to have a problem saying punch. But if I can't think of a good counterexample of that. The language police use to justify what they're doing to what are usually peaceful people, at least in that regard. Like, no, I get it. A lot of people who are high on drugs, they cause a lot of problems. There is disturbing the peace. I've seen people on drugs do some crazy shit and sometimes hurt themselves. Not, like they're not going to hurt anybody else. They're going to hurt themselves. There's a lot of bad shit that happens from drug addiction, drug use, drug abuse, right? Even like normal, like some of the drugs we approve of. Drinking can really fuck a lot of things up. So I'm not saying there's no consequences to this stuff. There can be terrible consequences and often are. But fuck. The way that they're trying to address them through violence and initiation of violence most of the time, it's like they're not getting that guy on heroin and arresting him because they're worried about his health. They're doing it because he has heroin. If he obeys all the other laws and he's a good heroin addict and he's not in the streets all wasted in the streets and all that shit, he's not high or whatever. I guess on heroin you don't get high, you get low. Fuck, I don't know. But he's driving. He went and he bought his heroin from his heroin dealer, and he's driving home and he's totally sober, not dangerous, and obeying all the traffic laws. Say his fucking he doesn't put his blinker on. Let's say he breaks the traffic law. They pull him over, talking to him, and he's probably nervous. He's got a bunch of heroin in the car, They search his car. They arrest him. Well, what was he pulled over for? Was he hurting anyone with his heroin? Let's say he's never hurt anyone with his heroin use. He doesn't owe anybody anything. Or say he has hurt somebody with their heroin use. He's hurt that person over there. Do they have a complaint? Are they trying to get something back from him? Did he steal something from? That's not what this does. It doesn't redress any wrongs. It just attacks people because they're doing something that the government said you can't do. That's not peace, y'all. And it ain't going to turn out. It hasn't turned out good. Nothing has changed with drug abuse. 50 years. Billions upon billions of dollars. Innocent people who aren't even drug users, losing their property. Animals shot because they just got to kick in the door in the middle of the night, or this guy's going to destroy the drugs. Well, wait. If he destroys the drugs, you can't punish him, but the drugs are gone. I thought we were trying to get rid of the drugs. No, we're not trying to get rid of the drugs. We're trying to punish people for having drugs. That's the objective. The objective is control. That's what it is in Russia. That's what it is over here. And that's why whether you are a Democrat who believes in, civil liberties, terrible term, by the way, got to stop using that, or you're a Republican who believes in small government, control is the problem for both of y'all. Run with that.